Hi, Quincy. Just going through your video analysis from camp. Thanks for coming to camp. Sorry about the cold weather. And we haven't been inside for 11 years. It was crazy. So thanks again for coming to camp. I found a couple things in your swing to work on that I think are going to help you out. And we wish you the best this season. So let's go ahead and get started here. First, talk about our stance. What I want to do is I want to get you more athletic. I think we can get a lot more into the baseball, hit it with a little bit more power, and some things we can do. First thing we got to do is with our hitters, when we analyze hitters, is we check out the knees and make sure that the weight is distributed correctly before we start. So if you notice with our knees, the biggest thing is our knees and our feet are basically turned out. So what you want to do is you want everything to turn in. So if you guys watch on TV of pro guys, you notice that all the knees are slightly in, which means the toes are slightly in. So I want you to be more in a more athletic position. I think we can get a stronger foundation with you by taking your knees and turning your knees in a little bit and turning your feet in a little bit. So take your knees where they are now, and basically let's put the knees more in here, which in turn is going to turn your feet and turn your toes in just a hair, and that's going to make you more athletic and more balanced and give you more power throughout your swing. Because the weight is back, you kind of have your toe up, which is fine, but we're not using enough of our legs and our body to get into the baseball when I hit. Now, upper body, picture perfect. You have your eyes on the baseball. I like where your hands are. I like your bat slot. I like your setup here on your upper half. You have great posture, nice and tall. Your upper body is picture perfect. I want to totally redo your lower half. I think it's going to make a big difference and get you a lot stronger at contact. Going into our next phase of analyzing is our land foot. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our land foot here and get into that where we're just going to freeze frame at land foot. Okay? One big thing we're going to talk about is that front foot. So as you go to turn or if you go to hit, you're pretty wide on your base. Make sure we don't get too wide. Remember, we don't want to be too wide. We don't want to be too narrow. At this point of your swing, we're too wide, and that's going to take away power. So if we don't have a foundation to hit from of our legs, if our weight's inside of our feet, but if we get too wide, we're going to lose power. So I think at this stage, we're a little bit wide, and we're going to lose a little bit of power. The other thing we got to be careful of is this front foot. Make sure that it doesn't kind of open up too much to point towards the pitcher here. It's very important when we do land foot that we're done going forward with our upper body. So I'm going to write this. Land foot is right there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark where your hips are, and I'm going to mark where your head is. So it's very important when that front foot lands that we don't go forward anymore. And that's very important because once our front foot lands, we want to begin to rotate and hit against a firm, closed front side. But right now, when you do land foot, you're actually going to keep continuing. So you see I draw these two lines where your head is and where your waist is. But what's going to happen is you're going to continue to go forward, which is called drifting. And every time, every ounce that you drift more forward is less power you're going to take away from our swing. So you'll see here, as I go forward, you really go through those lines, and you'll see that this back leg is beginning to be nice and straight, so it's going to take away a lot of power. And that's going to transfer everything to my upper body, and that's going to make me lose a lot of power when I hit. So can be a big difference in your weight transfer, and this is going to be a big difference in regards to your power. At this point of our swing, I would probably tone down your stride a little bit. I would probably move your foot back into here, and that's going to firm up actually your front side a little bit. I would actually close off this foot just a hair. You can see how your angle your foot's there. I would kind of turn your foot to be more this way, and that's going to hit against a firm, closed front side. Have a little bit of bend in our knee there, not bad. Your backside's pretty good shape. You do have a nice angle from the dirt straight up and tall into your head, but just a little bit long on that stride because that's going to take away a little bit of your power. So just put that foot back in there and just create this angle more here, and that's just going to give you more power in regards to that. So I think that's the two biggest things from the things that I see. You can see how we're really wide there, and we can't really hold our finish or be really strong on our finish. It's going to make a big difference to get those knees more inside of our feet. So let's go to another swing here. Let's go to land foot again. So remember, on our start, everything the upper body is good, just turning in those knees a little bit, changing the angle of our feet. We're going to go to stride right here. Get a contact. All right, you tone down that one a little bit. You can see that front foot's just a hair open. Just kind of want that foot to be turned in a little bit more. It's going to create more leverage for you. So instead of having your foot there, kind of turn it in so it's going to be kind of squared off more, and that's going to give you more power behind the baseball. If you bring your foot back just a hair, what's going to happen is you're going to get from being on your toe, if you're back in here with your leg, you're going to be from, instead of being on your toe and using more of your upper body, you're going to be more on the ball of my foot that I can really use for that power. So this back foot, you can get that ball of the foot on the ground, and that's going to create more power for you in kind of your power line here for hitting is based all around here of being behind the ball with every pound you got into the baseball. So that's going to make a big difference in regard to that. Right now, your head's on the ball. Again, upper body is nice. Your head's on the ball, palm up, palm down here, right looking down the barrel of the ball, and that's all in pretty good shape, staying through the baseball. So I like right here how you stayed through the ball and didn't roll those hands over until after that point, so you stayed through the ball. I think you're more of just a lot of foundation of just tweaking out your lower half, toning down your stride, bringing your feet in just a little bit, turning your knees in, getting more power into our swing, and being more behind the baseball. I think it's going to be make a big difference for you. Again, that's pretty good right there. I would make sure that front foot is kind of a little bit, just a hair back. It's going to just get you a little bit more power. You can see you kind of are too far wide, and it's going to kind of take away that power. So those are just the 4 or 5 things that I would work on, because everything else is in pretty good shape. But your upper body is in really good shape with that path. I think it's just tweaking that lower body to keep it going. So I would watch this video over and over again, and hopefully you can get something out of this to work on. But I think as you get into bigger fields and faster pitching, it's going to make a big difference for these few changes. So thanks for coming to camp this year. Hope to have you back, and we wish you the best this season coming up.